so much for joining me on Being Indispensable. My name's Liz Van Vliet. We're all dispensable. I know that better than anyone. I'm a breast cancer survivor. But that doesn't mean that we can't invest in ourselves to improve the skills and capabilities that are going to help us stand out and be perceived as indispensable. Being indispensable is also about the being side of the equation. Because if we're not looking after ourselves and our own well-being, then we have no hope of showing up as indispensable in the workplace. Hi everyone, welcome to this week's episode of Being Indispensable. Today, I wanted to talk to you about an article that I have been sitting on, not literally sitting on, but an article that I printed off because I thought it was very relevant. And I've been sitting on it in the sense that it's one that I wanted to talk about. And I thought, well, today's a great opportunity to talk about it. Now, the article, which I'll put a link to in the show notes, is entitled The 10 Skills You'll Need by 2020 and in brackets and beyond. And it's by a journalist called Vivien Luu. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly because it's Vivien Luu. So Vivien Luu, it could be Vivien Luu, not sure. Anyway, the article starts off by saying that basically she is reflecting on some findings from the World Economic Forum, which says that we as the sort of a global population are on the cusp of the fourth industrial revolution, or Industry 4.0 as it's called. And that you don't need to have seen Ridley Scott's Blade Runner or Steven Spielberg's AI, artificial intelligence, to know that this next one is going to change everything. She talks about the fact that Industry 4.0 will be marked by lightning speed advancements and mind-boggling change as it brings together advances in digital, physical and biological technologies. And then she goes on to talk about, industries that are earmarked to revolutionise the future and generate, trillions and gazillions of dollars. And then she goes into some findings, well, not so much findings, but recommendations for the key skill areas that people should be focused on making sure that they have in order to stay relevant in this job market that's going to emerge in this next phase of the industrial revolution, Industry 4.0. And what I found fascinating about it is that the skills that she identifies, or that the World Economic Forum have identified, are skills that are central to being perceived as an indispensable assistant. Listen to this. Number 1 skill, complex problem solving. Number 2 skill, critical thinking. Number 3 skill, creativity. Number 4 skill, people management. Number 5 skill, coordinating with others. Number 6 skill, emotional intelligence. Number 7, judgment and decision making. Number 8, service orientation. Number 9, negotiation. And number 10, cognitive flexibility. Now, if that is not a list of the top, not the top, but 10 skills that are fundamental to making you a kick-ass executive assistant. In fact, a kick-ass office professional, then I don't know what other list you need. So I thought this was a great article that goes into each of those 10 skill areas. And if you don't already have a handle on what those, what each of those skills looks like, and if that's the case, then I don't know, have you not been listening to my podcast, people? Joking, that's a joke. This article will give you a great overview. So, again, I'm going to put a link to it in the show note. I think that it really reinforces those red box activities, as Adam Fiedler calls them, that make us makes you more than just a reactive, task-oriented executive assistant. They are skills that are going to help you stand out. So I would encourage you to download this article and have a read of it, and hey, share it with some of your colleagues and let them know. These are the areas that as executive assistants you are already focused on. If you're listening to this podcast, you're ahead of the game, and these skills are the ones that you need to put up on your desk. Have a list of these top 10 of these 10 skills, because they are just so helpful. I can't think of another word. Anyway, this is going to be a very short episode because really I'm not going to rehash what's in the article. Suffice to say that, let me just give you her conclusion. Where is her? Can't even find the conclusion. Bottom line, I'm reading this article as it's sitting on my desk, and I think, she actually refers to complex problem solving as the holy grail of all skills. So that gives you an idea that it is the number one skill that she identifies, complex problem solving. And that, if you just pick out a couple of these skills and work on them in this year, this calendar year of 2018, you will be giving yourself a great run-up to 2020 and beyond. And next year you can pick another couple. Anyway, as you know, I'm all about self-development, so go wild, people, go wild. There you go. So that's all I've got for you this week. As you know, if you listened to last week's episode, I'm alternating every week. 1 week will be about being indispensable. 1 week will just be about being. So, make sure you tune into both the yin and the yang, so to speak, so you get a full perspective on things that are, rummaging around in my mind. But I hope you can hear that I am feeling really strong and inspired, and I loved this article, and I hope you do too. Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening to today's show. I hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to see the show notes, head over to my website. It would be great if you haven't already done so. If you enjoyed the show, if you could kindly go to iTunes and leave a review. It helps other people find the show. Thanks for listening and have a great week.